It should be in your stuff too. It was sitting on top.
Yeah. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting. It's Monday, April 1st, 2024. Time is 9:01. If everybody could please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mr. Henry?
Here.
Ms. Reagan?
Present.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Here. We do have one appointment for Board of Zoning Appeals, but I don't believe we've had anybody sign up for it. Could you post that?
We'd appreciate anybody stepping forward to serve. There's no pay, sorry.
And
But we need your help to,
And we need
On these
somebody
boards.
knowledgeable.
yeah,
yeah,
and it
For
could
that.
be
Maybe the-
Democrat or Republican, either side.
yeah.
The other requirements are they can't be on any other board or commission.
Right.
They have to be completely independent. They can't be an elected official. And so, because it's like a court, the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Thank you, John.
Next, we'll move to tabled business, and we have minutes for February 5th, February 20th, and February 4th.
I'd recommend we could remove the meeting of February 5th. And I went downstairs and we are getting behind, and it's a new job for Ed's staff. And in the old days, we were just doing the motions and not the chit chat, you might say. And when you type, well, they don't actually have to type them now, I guess the computer does it, but it doesn't catch all the grammar mistakes. So I just would like to highly recommend that we go back just to the basic needs. And if anybody's interested on was said, they could look it up on YouTube after it's posted.
So are you making a motion to remove
Just the fifth.
February 5th and February 20th?
No, I haven't. I'd like to look them over, and I just,
Okay, you just want February 5th?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll second the motion to remove February 5th only.
We have a motion and a second for February 5th only. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
yes.
Mr. King?
Yes, so we'll keep the other two tabled.
We could go ahead and, if you want to approve it later.
You said you wanted to look over these.
Well, the 5th, I mean, go ahead and, since we removed it.
Make a motion to approve.
I make a motion we approve the minutes of the 5th.
Second.
A motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
Yes,
Mr. King?
Yes. So the other two you want to keep tabled, correct?
please.
So we'll move to approval of minutes for March 18th, 2024.
So moved.
I'll second that. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Ms. Reagan?
No,
Mr. King?
Yes. Next, we'll move to presentations. We'll move to the Muncie Land Bank. Mr. Howard?
Morning, Commissioners. Morning, everyone. Nate Howard from the Muncie Land Bank. I don't know if my presentation is queued up. I have it on a thumb drive.
Mr., do you need, do you have a computer or anything, or?
I brought the thumb drive and I'd sent it in an email.
Okay, yep, you sent it to me, but I'm not hooked up to it, so.
Okay. I can go ahead and,
Go ahead.
You want to go ahead and?
yeah, we just want to, one, report on, the properties that were awarded to us back in, I think, July of 2022. Those are 7 properties. Again, I don't have the exact statistics there on the presentation, but I think it was something around 260 days was the time it took on average to get those properties back into local folks' hands. 2 of those properties were demolished, and then one of them was split. Gave those to the neighbors as side lots, and then we had, I think, 5 properties that were taken on by local do-it-yourselfers, and they're in different stages of the rehab process. We require property. First thing we do is assess it, do a level 1 assessment, just get an idea of how far it is away from building code, and then we secure it, maintain it, run it through quiet title action, make sure we get it as clean as possible before we offer it back to the public. Then we make it available, and then there's a vetting process. And so all the properties that were given to us have gone through that. Now we're at a stage where last year we presented and asked for properties that was not considered. And then so now we're into this year asking for two lists of properties. One for a project in the Old West End primarily. We have a new partnership with Intend Indiana, which Jeb Reese is here. If there's time for him to share briefly about Intend Indiana. But they're a group out of Indianapolis that's done some really interesting neighborhood revitalization work, primarily housing development, and they're partnering with us. And so we've been looking a good place to start thinking about potential for success. And so we thought Old West End to start. We, with our own funding, have acquired 9 properties, and we're hoping to acquire 3 or 4 more. And then that complements this big ask that we're asking from you all. We have a group of partners, Pathstone Corporation, Eco Rehab, owner, which is a local CDC there in the Old West End. Everybody's got a different role, but the hope is to be able to rehab 10 to 11 properties and build between 20 and 25 new homes in that area, depending on finance. The other swath of properties are mostly in industry neighborhood and Whiteley neighborhood. We're working with some local organizations there, groups like Habitat for Humanity, Urban Light CDC, Union Missionary Baptist in Whiteley. We're trying to get out ahead because these properties a lot of times folks purchase in different ways, and there's a lot of times they don't do a whole lot with them. So we're trying to get out ahead, acquire these properties for future development in these 2 neighborhoods. And just to emphasize, after the tax sale, our process is to go through the list, and then we have meetings with the neighborhood. We have meeting with all these organizations that do housing development. We talk to local residents. We run it in-house, try to do our own analysis. Then we go out and visit them. So the property list that we're presenting to you today come with, months and months of work and conversations, man hours. So yeah, I don't know if there's any questions. I'm happy to try to answer. Again, Jeb is here to talk about Intend if you'd like to hear from him.
So there's 43 properties, correct?
Yes, sir.
Out of those 43 properties, 10 of them have structures.
Yes.
Sound right?
Yes. And the hope is for most of those that we can rehab those.
I was able to go to Austin, Texas with Nate and Jeb on a conference on land banks. I learned more than what I ever thought I could have on the land banks. And we also had a discussion about making this not only a Muncie land bank, but Delaware County Muncie land bank. And I know you've sent stuff out for John Brook and everything to get that done, but what they do with the properties and stuff, and they try to help us get back on the tax roll is a great thing. And if you haven't talked to Jeb, I would suggest, if you want to say something, Jeb, to step up to the podium if you guys have any questions, but he's very knowledgeable about how to restructure some of these, properties.
And I would just say that, yeah, we are very interested in figuring out how the Muncie Land Bank can serve the county. And, you know, one of the things that we're starting in Old West End with intent, but the goal is to expand. And we were just talking the other day, we'd love to do some work in some of the smaller towns around Delaware County. Yeah, because really we should be about the whole county and not just Muncie. So, Jeb, you want to just introduce real quick intent?
Sure, yeah. So, yeah, we're a nonprofit out of Indianapolis. We started as a neighborhood-based CDC on the near north side, and kind of grew out of that, moved countywide, and then moved statewide in the last 2 years or so. So we've been working with communities across the state, including Muncie, as well as South Bend, Shelbyville, some counties down in southeast Indiana. I'm a Ball State alumni, so I'm happy to be back in Muncie anytime I can. And yeah, we're really excited about this project and hope that the county can be a part of it.
Thank you.
So there's, for the public, there's 24 in the Old West End. 5 of those are structures. There's 11 in the industrial neighborhood, and those are all vacant lots. One on the south side on Meeker, structure on May, structure on Burn, structure on Highland. I'm good.
Well, I, went through that last night and appreciate all your hard work. I had some troubles on some of the numbers. I don't know if it was just a typo, so I've given,
I fixed one, there was just one typo, I fixed that, so.
I appreciate what Nate's doing, and you might tell him about your luncheons every Friday, first Friday.
Sure, yeah, we have a
Bob.
public meeting, first Friday of each month, 12:30 to 2, where we just try to get folks that are interested in housing development, issues, abandoned, vacant, deteriorating property in the same room and have a conversation. We usually have a speaker that comes in. This Friday, there's actually a housing summit that we've been helping to organize instead of, First Friday. We're promoting that. That's at Ivy Tech from 9 to 3 p.m. And, yeah, they got people from coming all over the state to talk about successes, or just trying to get folks thinking and talking.
Is it too late to sign up?
It's not too late to sign up.
I'm down, but if anybody else wants to join, I think you're gonna feed us too, aren't you?
We're gonna feed you, yeah. And we feed you at the first Friday meeting, yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, and I, again, just thank you, Commissioner King, for being willing to have this dialogue, get this started. Yeah, our goal is to serve the city and the county. And this, I feel like this is a real opportunity with intent and our other partners. So,
We appreciate your work on this, Mr. Howard.
thank you.
Thanks, Nate. You guys wanna-
You want to, there's one that's tabled, it's 2024-003.
We're gonna do both of those when you go to resolutions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have the Delaware County Historical Society.
Good morning.
Morning.
I always have to stand on my tiptoes on any of these. I'm Karen Vincent, and I am county historian as designated by the Indiana Historical Society and the immediate past president of Delaware County Historical Society. And this is Zach Bowe, who is the current president of Delaware County Historical Society. And I'd just like to take a minute to talk about 2 upcoming anniversaries here in Delaware County. Next year, Delaware County Historical Society will celebrate its centennial anniversary. DCHS was founded in 1925 to help prepare for the 1927 commemoration of the centennial of the county's formation. So that means that in 2027, Delaware County will commemorate its bicentennial, and I think definitely a time to celebrate. Yet this year, DCHS would like to convene a meeting of stakeholders, obviously the Historical Society, Muncie Public Library, Minnetrista, and people from throughout the entire county. Not, obviously not just Muncie, but throughout the entire county, to talk about, brainstorm ideas for a celebration and for potential legacy projects within the county. And the public, of course, will also be invited. And then this will give us 2 years to develop a steering committee, get organizational and public buy-in, and of course, raise some money. One of the first things that we want to do is develop a website that will include information about Delaware County history, something that will create a buzz about a celebration, and to give information about upcoming bicentennial events. So, of course, for this, and I'm going to let Zach talk to this in just a minute, of course, we'll need some seed money for this too. I do want to say that on January 26th, 1977, the centennial celebration was kicked off by the commissioners themselves, who held a ceremonial session to mark the anniversary of the day legislation was passed to establish Delaware County. So, what I'd like to say before I turn it over to Zach, since this is a countywide event, we'd like to count on the commissioners for their support and participation. Now I'm going to let Zach talk a little bit about money.
Yes, so my name is Zach Bowe. I'm the current president of the Delaware County Historical Society. In terms of money, we are at the very beginning stages of planning. We need seed money to understand what we're going to need for the future projects and the legacy projects that we've been talking about. So we're going to be acting as the convening body and facilitators for the other organizations and the other entities in the county. So we don't have all the projects planned at this point, but we can be the fiscal body or the fiscal intermediary to act and to distribute the money and to, basically what we're asking for is the initial seed money, which Sherry talked to Karen and I at a meeting, and she's like, well, what do you think would be an appropriate amount? Well, we don't exactly know because we don't know exactly what projects we're going to be doing, but this is going to be the initial funding. So, I mean, I don't know if I should put a figure out there, Sherry. You mentioned.
Go ahead.
You mentioned starting at, $30,000 as initial money. This money is going to be sitting separate from our general fund and our operating fund. So the accounting will be completely separated. So it'll be a restricted account. If we don't use it, we don't use it. But whatever we use, there will be a paper trail. There'll be an account for it. So we'll know exactly what we're using it for. And we don't know what that looks like yet, if we're being completely honest. So this is, again, the very earliest stages of planning and convening. It's better to start early on these things, especially for something as important as a bicentennial celebration. So there's a lot on the horizon. We hope to do it right. Other counties have done it semi-recently, and some of them have done it pretty well, and some haven't. So we can learn from their successes and their failures as well, I think. So.
And I will just mention one more thing. We do have a grant application that we are 95% sure will be funded for a paid staff member at DCHS. And one of their duties would be to coordinate this effort.
And we'll find out about that in the next month or so.
Yeah.
And that's the first year of funding, and we're hopeful for the next second and third year of funding for that. So, and one of their primary roles, again, is going to be taking on this bicentennial and our centennial. And there's a whole bunch of other county and citywide centennials coming up as well that we might be a part of. So. And everything happened in the 1920s or the 1820s.
Well, thank you. Very nice presentation. What I was thinking is our edit monies, you've been talking about reworking them, but Project 18 has some money in there. And I thought we could give them a guarantee that we could give them some money over the years, but if we just started out with 15,000 just to get the doors open and that get them to buy some stamps and letterheads and
Yeah.
Develop a website.
so that's
Yeah.
just my suggestion.
Again, one of the initial steps is going to be developing that initial footprint of that website where people can come to and see what's happening and what's going on, what the future plans are, so they have a centralized area to reference when they're seeing what's the county or what's the city doing for this celebration or these other celebrations that are happening. So.
You wanna do 10, 15? To get them started?
Well, I was thinking 15, but if you just want to do 10 and come back in 6 months and we could do another 10.
Have you had a chance to review the edit plan?
We should have the money in there after the bonds come out.
You'll make a motion?
Oh, I move that we, donate 15,000 to the Historical Society to start the process for the bicentennial.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes,
Mr. King.
Yes.
thanks for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Next, we have Mr. Jeff Hansard.
Morning, Commissioners. Jeff Hansard, Chief Probation Officer, Delaware County. I was before the Commissioners just a little over a month ago, talking about the Community Connect app, which is an application that an individual, former DOC, reentry, I think regional manager down in southern Indiana, developed as a way to connect folks with services, folks who need services the most. So I came back to discuss this app, which is really a comprehensive portal for referrals for individuals who are seeking services. These may be individuals, they're not necessarily involved with the criminal justice system. There's a wide array of applicability with this app. It could be for individuals that are on probation, involved with community corrections. It can be used as a reentry tool for individuals coming out of jail. Our IRACS program that we have running, peer recovery folks, there's a wide array of use, and also just general community members as well. So pretty excited about this. The initial startup cost for this application, as I talked about last time, was $12,800. I'm happy to report to the Commissioners, we've obtained, since I was here last time, 50% of that funding. The Board of Health came on board and agreed to fund $6,400 worth for the deployment of this app. So I'd like to thank Director Bain and the Board of Health board as well for doing that. And so the current group of individuals that are kind of working on this project, we're now going to city, county government to try to get the remaining $6,400. So today I would be requesting from the Commissioners $3,200.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, thank you.
So I talked to Mr. Bain about this. The deal was, I think, between he and you, was he would pay the 64 if you got the 64 from the city.
Okay, yes,
That was the deal.
he did discuss that with us, and that was a conversation we had. We're just trying to kind of cobble together funding.
I understand, but I want to be clear that you know that he and I talked, and that's the deal we come up with.
Okay, prior to the
Yes,
board.
yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I apologize for that, Commissioner Henry. I didn't
No,
realize.
that's fine. If the city gives you the remaining 64, we should be good.
We should, absolutely.
Correct.
And we're hopeful, and we have a meeting, some of the folks on this project have a meeting later this week with city government individuals to try to secure that funding.
Great.
So that being said, let me then just give the Commissioners an update or a quick look at what the app does and talk a little bit more about why we appreciate you working with the Board of Health to secure the funding for 50% of the project. So the problems that this app addresses is this. There's a 211 system in Indiana. Any of us can call 211 if you need help with a problem, and you can get information about any number of services. But the problem with that is the person on the other end has to follow up with that. So in other words, if I'm calling 211 for mental health help or some other kind of treatment service, they're going to give me a list of places I need to go, and it's going to be up to me to follow up and go to those places and get myself signed up. So this solves that problem in that the referral is generated automatically on the app. So, and I'll just kind of do a little demo run here. It's done with a QR code or through an app, so you can just give a person a card, and it starts the process. So you can see here, the first thing, Attorney John Brook will appreciate this, is a liability waiver that you're signing off that I agree, and it's an electronic signature, and you would submit that, and then you go on and you then agree on a secondary that I am waiving, because there is some pertinent information that's required on the front end to do this. So you're completing the form, and I'm signing the waivers. So then they're going on, and what's your name? For this purpose, we'll say my name is Delaware County, address, information's entered, your county of residence, obviously is gonna be Delaware. Your email, phone, date of birth, that. Page 50, your racial identification, demographics, your information, household income, how many people are in your household, you enter that preliminary, education, and then we get into the kind of working end of this. If you're a veteran, obviously that would trigger then certain responses for VA, they would come on board and we can include them in this process as well. So then you get to like the nuts and bolts of this is, what do you need help with? And really the app can be built in a customizable way. So say for an individual, they need help with dental assistance, I've got food issues, kind of land bank, some of the issues they deal with is maybe housing assistance or home repair. And you can see for the demo purposes, maybe substance abuse. So you fill out the forms you need help with, and then it takes you into the subgroups, dental assistance, as an example. So we would build into the app as part of the cost then as we do this. Like Open Door, for example, does dental health services for folks on Medicaid or so forth, emergency. So you build them in and then they can pick which one they want referred to. Is there any other additional information? For example, you could need a crown. Food insecurity issues. It's going to provide you a list of pantries and other places that might be able to connect with these individuals and get them hooked up. So are you currently homeless? Again, and that's going to then direct them to the next layer of these are the places you can go and this is where you can get help. So there's an information piece and then also a referral piece. So what it does with the referral piece is instead of an individual who may be homeless, they are struggling with their mental health, maybe they're dealing with addiction issues, instead of it being put back on them, then these agencies receive the referrals generated and they can reach out to the person, try to connect with them to then bring them in. This is especially helpful for folks that live in the rural areas of the county in terms of they're trying to get help. Maybe the office is located in Muncie, that they don't have to come in to initiate that process. It's already going. And so when they show up, they can get an appointment date and time, and they're already in the system of these various agencies at the time they refer. So, I think some of the local situations we've seen over the past couple months here with the Muncie Inn, number of people at scale facing homelessness at the same time. We had the tornadoes that went out through Selma as well. People need help and need services very quickly a lot of times in those situations. So I think this could help in that regard. We're seeing this also on the criminal justice side. I'll say that, a lot of times law enforcement gets called out to situations and it's just people need help with resources or some kind of support. And so if law enforcement officers, various jurisdictions around the county, agencies are able to kind of, pass out a QR code to people, say, hey, scan this, go through it, someone will help you. So that's a big part and a helpful piece to that as well. On a personal side, I'll say kind of one of my hobbies, if you will, is I'm a moderator of a pretty large Facebook group here in Delaware County, community awareness group. It's the What's Up Muncie group. And the three biggest requests on there are food, housing, and then the third thing is where can I get a good cut and color? It's a beauty salon stuff. Yeah. So there's a lot of ability to help people with very serious needs they have, but also on the for-profit side as well with businesses and so forth. So there's a scalability to this. So, you know, I guess, I once again, just want to thank, the commissioners for their help with this. We'll be working with Board of Health and, be going to city government here, later this week to, secure the remainder of the funding. So thanks again for your support.
Before you leave, Jeff, and thanks for all your work on this, I was trying to help a friend, son needs an apartment, just a one-bedroom, so the landlords can join, any business can join. Now, what is gonna be the yearly maintenance on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the 12,800 will get the app deployed. It just happenstances at the same time that we anticipate getting this up going here soon, is that the Delaware County Prevention Council, DCPC, does the red ribbon breakfasts and so forth. They actually secured a grant for a community peer navigator position. The probation department, we're always very geared towards working with other folks. So that individual's we're gonna embed them and they're gonna work out of our department. They won't be our employee, but we just kind of have some space they can operate. So I think this interfaces well with that. The cost after the initial build out, Sherry, I'm sorry, escapes me. There is some variables in there in terms of, how many entities come onto it and so forth and all that. But I think there's an ability there, and we would anticipate doing this down the road, is to get external funding from the agencies that provide this. So in other words, you know, I think from the government perspective, we're initiating this process, get it up, build out, and see where it goes. And I feel like it'll go in a good direction. So thank you again, commissioners, for your support on this project.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to contracts and agreements for approval. The first up is amended to the art plan.
Yes, this is a request, to move some money around in the art plan. The council's already appropriated all the money from the American Rescue Plan that was received back in 21, I think it was, or 22. And this is to move 200,000 from the mental health, building, project to the town of Selma to help with their, recovery and costs and expenses from the tornado. This is disaster relief, so this will be moved to the, revenue replacement. The state of Indiana has informed Delaware County that it is eligible and qualified for $2.5 million for a grant to build the, mental health facility out of the, legislature from 2023. We've applied for that, and Delaware County was the only one that was awarded some money from the $10 million pot, because we were the farthest along. We're gonna go back to that pot because the legislature changed the rules to allow us to get another $2.5 million, up to $2.5 million for this project. So the state may be helping fund most of the construction. So there's some money in the art plan that can be moved around for this worthwhile cause over in Selma to give them some disaster relief.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second for approval. Yeah, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Absolutely, yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes. Next, we'll move to resolutions for approval. We have resolution 2024-003, and it is resolution of Delaware County, Indiana Board of Commissioners identifying certain properties to be transferred to a nonprofit entity to Indiana Code 6-1.1-24-6.7 and Indiana Code 36-1-11-1.
Mr. Brook, do we need, a motion to remove 03 from the table first?
Yeah, these work hand in hand. So if you take a motion to remove 2024-03 from the table.
I'll
and
make
vote
that
on
motion.
one.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to remove it from the table. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
Okay, on the Muncie Land Bank's request, as you pointed out, Commissioners, there are two properties that are already in the name of the Commissioners. And the resolution that the President just read is to move those two. This resolution that you just took off the table is to publish a notice for a public hearing at the next meeting to transfer the tax sale certificates to the Muncie Land Bank. And according to statute, you have to have that to be able to, transfer the tax sale certificate so they can do their magic on the notices to get the properties into their name. So you can do these one at a time if you want.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 2024-003.
Second,
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2024-004.
Second,
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
I will prepare the deeds for the two properties in 2024-04 for the president to sign. Now that you've approved that, then we'll get those over to you, Nate, okay?
Next, we'll move to department heads and elected officials.
It's a race.
Good morning, Jane Miranda, Community Corrections. I'm here to submit my annual letter that the Board of Commissioners sign in support of our DOC grants. So I've never had to come to the meeting before. Usually you just sign this, so I can just hand it over to Sarah and you can sign it at your convenience. I would like to get it turned in by this Friday. It is due April 12th.
Get it to us and we'll sign it for this, as soon as the
Okay,
meeting's over.
I'll just hand it off to Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you. John?
Good morning, Commissioners. John Catino, Emergency Management. Just a couple updates, referenced the tornado event that happened on March 14th. I was able to schedule, the public assistance group from the state to come in and help our departments, with their paperwork filing. So any of our department heads, which includes the city too, because they had city sanitary district and street department there. If they sent assets over to Selma or to Winchester, they can apply for assistance back. Those dates are Wednesday, April 3rd, 9 to 4, and then Thursday, April 4th from 9 to 4. They'll be in the EOC to help them with any paperwork. I know Kyle did some of our paperwork on Thursday, and it's kind of cumbersome. So if you're not sure about it, don't assume, just come in and talk to them. They will help you figure out all that paperwork. They helped Kyle. So please take advantage of them being here to help maximize our return on assets that were deployed. Excuse me. Another piece was the U.S. Small Business Administration. They received their declaration, so now they are going to be set up. They're going to set up a DLOC, which is a Disaster Loan Outreach Center, and that is going to be for the residents in Selma that were affected by the tornadoes. So they'll be setting up hopefully sometime this week. I have to get a contract signed by the American Legion there. They are hosting the DLOC group in there, so it's got to be a free of charge place. So they're going to host them in there, and I think they're going to be open Monday through Friday from like 9 to 4, and on Saturdays from like 9 to 2 to help the residents of Selma to come in and apply for assistance to get back on their feet. So those two things we have going on. Please try to get to, that's mainly for like the sheriff's office, county highway, city, street, and sanitary district. I can't think, maybe a couple other ones, but if you guys have paperwork, please take advantage of them being here and help them get you guys through that paperwork to get us the most maximum return we can.
Hopefully that will pay the county back for some of the work that's been done out in Selma. So it's important for all departments that participated in any part of that disaster to make sure you get the paperwork filled out. So like John said, we hopefully get a little bit of
Yeah,
money
it'll
back
be on the
from that.
state federal relief, not on the FEMA side right now, so it'll be definitely on the state side, but anything we can get turned in, the better chance we have. So
Absolutely.
in my opinion, something's better than nothing.
Right.
So, please take advantage of them being here. For you department heads, they'll help you guys out with everything you need, so.
Thanks for doing
That's
that,
all I
John.
No, thanks,
Thank you.
John.
Morning, Commissioners. Jim Fluke from the IT Department.
Morning.
Wanted to bring the attention that I got a letter or an email from AT&T about a week and a half ago that the contract for our internet services here at the county building and the Justice Center is coming due to be renewed. There's two separate circuits, one here and one out there, so there is a cost for both of those, and right now the, majority of our workforce is out of the Justice Center now. And I would like for the commissioners to consider to, let us beef up that internet pipe out there from a 500 meg to a 1 gig meg. 1 gig of, internet pipe, which, will run about $3,200 a year, increased above the, current agreement. So if that's agreeable, I'll have the agreement rolled up in that fashion and brought, to the commissioners at the next meeting.
It's just $3,200.
Yes.
I suppose we gotta have it.
Need a
It's,
motion.
like I said, it's not really, we don't know until we have a problem, until, we have a big issue. And the majority of the people out there use Odyssey, which, is an internet-based application, and it's, they're using a lot of the pipe for that part of it.
I'll make a motion, we permit Jim to, upgrade AT&T to 1 gig out to jail.
Second.
Okay, I'll get it back and get it to John for him to review before the next meeting.
Have a motion and a second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes,
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King.
Yes.
thanks, sir.
Jan Smoot, Delaware County Recorder. And Ed, please feel free to pitch in and say anything that you'd like. Earlier this year, the Recorder's Office and the Auditor's Office had worked together along with Fiddler to come and present a scan project to scan the rest of our records and the Auditor's Office records to have those preserved and more efficient. So we would just at this time like to withdraw that request. We're going to just continue to work together to secure funding. And obviously, the town of Selma needs assistance, and our hearts, and prayers have been with them. So, but I do just want to thank you for your consideration to even hear our presentation, because it is important. And none of the request was intended anyway to be greedy, to ask for money. Other departments, had asked for assistance, and other recorders' offices across the state have worked successfully with their counties to secure ARPA funds to help with scan projects similar to that. And while we do have our perpetuation fund, we do pay 3 salaries, health benefits, insurance out of that, along with our Fiddler costs. And with revenue being down the last couple of years, it is my job also to help preserve that fund, and not to just go through it. So just wanted to kind of explain some of the intentions that were behind that request, and to help improve the efficiency of being able to search those records and preserving those records in both offices.
What's that fund bring in yearly,
I don't have those figures in front of me, Sherry, but I can get those to you.
or what the balance is now?
Right, and I know it does look like a healthy balance, but when you're talking like $220,000 scan project, that's a big, chunk. So I just wanted to kind of explain the intent behind the request, and thank you for your time and consideration to even consider it and hear us out.
Yeah.
Jen, are you actually requesting the contract be signed though, to move forward?
We are going to move forward with it, so I guess I'll just need to know along that process what I need to do next, as far as that process goes.
Just have Mr.
So-
Brook look
So
at it.
basically, we had a discussion with Jan about this, and our position is, I think the town of Selma needs money, a lot more than we need to fund these projects. So, and that's how we'd like to request the commission to do, is approve both of the contracts for the scanning of those documents, and we'll find the funding within our, particular funds to fund them.
Thank you guys for doing that. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be real quick, Brad Polk, County Treasurer. I just want to give you guys a quick update as far as the tax statements. They are printing probably either tomorrow or Wednesday and be mailing out next. Everybody should be starting to receive those next week. Looking like about $120 million for the year is what will be collected, is what's projected anyway. And then on the investments so far this year, just want to give you a quick update on that. For the first 2 months of the year, we're at about $600,000 in interest. Of that, about 120 to 125 is from the ARP money. So just to give you that quick update. And if you have any questions on it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President, the commission will have to approve that Fiddler contract.
Right.
The,
I was gonna ask that, and Brad got up there.
yep, I was gonna tell you that, but Brad got up there too, so.
So we'll have to make a
I'll-
motion and second to approve.
I'll make a motion, we approve the contract with Fiddler.
Second,
A motion and second. Ed, can you call the roll?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
yes.
Mr. King,
Yes.
was that for both of them, those scanning projects?
Yes.
Cause I think there were two contracts.
Next, we'll move on to our weekly and monthly reports. Everybody see the weights and measures report?
I did.
We'll move to payment of claims in the amount of $1,203,513.98.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second. Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
King,
Yes. Next, we have one signed up, Miss Lindsay Alter, for comments.
Hi there, I'm Lindsay Arthur. I'm actually the CEO of Muncie Habitat for Humanity. And I just wanted to ask for your favorable consideration for the properties that the land bank is requesting. We've been partnering with the Muncie Land Bank, since it began, and we've been advocating, for that here in our county and city. At Muncie Habitat, this is very strategic for us to be able to work with the land bank where we can secure property for future investment. 10 of those properties, specifically in the industry neighborhood, are for Habitat to be able to build new construction homes for families. Those 10 properties will actually be placed in a grant proposal to the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis if those are secured by the land bank. And for us to be able to develop those properties over a 3-year period, we'd be requesting a significant amount of money for the Federal Home Loan Bank of Indianapolis to be investing in our work here. So that partnership for us is a really significant partnership. It's a way for us to actually utilize the resources in our community without having staff on our payroll. We're able to partner, and I know that a lot of small nonprofits in our county and in our city rely on the Muncie Land Bank for that reason, to be able to strategically look at properties, to strategically invest in those properties and have them available at the time that we need in order to build and rehab houses in concentrated areas. Just like the land bank's doing in the Old West End, Habitat, along with Urban Light Community Development, will be partnering in the industry neighborhood in the coming years. So I just would really urge your favorable consideration for those properties to be transferred.
We greatly appreciate all your work in our community, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, I will entertain a motion to recess.
So moved.
Second.
Ed, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Yep. Go to recess.